All right, so get this. 50 YouTubers walk into a giant plexiglass box, right? And in the middle, $1 million. $1 million.
Sounds like the start of a very expensive joke.
Right. But this is MrBeast we're talking about, so you know it's going to get wild. This is his $1 million challenge, and we are diving deep.
And it's interesting, right? Because on the surface, it's just, oh, $1 million, who gets it? But you start watching, and it's like this weird window into how content creation works these days. The competition, who works with who, all the drama.
Oh, absolutely. And seeing how these creators we watch online actually act when they're under pressure, it's fascinating.
Because they're not just playing for themselves.
Right.
It's for their subscribers.
Yeah.
So you instantly get that tension of, do I look out for number one, or do I try to be a hero for the fans?
It's a dilemma from the jump. And speaking of dilemmas, MrBeast does not go easy on them with the challenges. Like the very first one, free throws. Simple, you'd think, right?
Everybody's done a free throw.
Exactly. But sink it and your subscriber gets a Cybertruck, miss it. You're out of the running for the $1 million. Plus, you just disappointed someone who looks up to you.
Talk about pressure. You could see it on their faces, even with something as basic as a basketball.
Even Mark Rober, Mr. Engineering Genius, you could tell he was feeling the heat.
And then there's Jaiden.
Oh, Jaiden.
That moment when his shot missed, it was like the internet collectively gasped.
It was brutal. And it really shows you how tough it is for these creators. They've got to entertain, build their brand, keep the audience happy, and somehow make a living doing it.
It's a hustle, for sure.
And just when they're recovering from that first challenge, MrBeast hits them with cookie cutting.
Sounds harmless, right? Except it's teams, they got to pick a captain. And some of those cookie cutter shapes were nuts.
Don't even get me started on the umbrella.
Oh, the infamous umbrella.
Sketch. Poor guy. Gaming legend, stuck with that thing.
It's like MrBeast reached into his bag of how to make a YouTuber sweat and pulled that one out.
And it's not just the challenge itself, it's the strategy. Like, how do you even pick a captain? Who's taking the biggest risks? You can tell a lot about these creators by how they handle that kind of pressure.
Totally.
And then, bam, Pokemon. Gone. Eliminated because of that darn umbrella.
The tension in that plexiglass box, you could have cut it with one of those cookie cutters.
And just when they thought, okay, maybe we've got a handle on this whole $1 million challenge thing, MrBeast throws them a curveball. A big one.
Giant Jenga.
Giant Jenga. But we're not talking like, oh, that's a big Jenga set giant. We're talking these blocks could crush a car giant.
It was wild. And that's where you see this shift, right? It's not just about individual skills anymore. Now it's teamwork. Can you trust your partner? Or are you about to get played?
Because, let's be real, some of those blocks looked heavy. I'd be tempted to sacrifice my teammate too. $1 million on the line.
Speaking of sacrifice, we have to talk about KSI and AJ.
Oh, that was something else.
It's like, Jenga's supposed to be fun, right? But with those two, it became this whole dramatic showdown.
You could practically feel the tension through the screen. That power's wobbling, everyone's holding their breath.
Yeah.
And then KSI just yanks a block out, bringing the whole thing down on top of AJ.
And himself.
Strategic genius or just KSI being KSI?
Right. Like, was that calculated to take out the competition, or did he just get caught up in the moment?
It's a gamble either way. And in this case, it didn't pay off.
Nope. They both got eliminated.
But MrBeast, he wasn't done with them yet. Just when they thought it couldn't get any more intense, he brings back steal or no steal.
Done, done, done. If the other challenges were about physical skills or strategy, this one was psychological warfare.
Imagine that, right? You're a YouTuber, you've built your career on being relatable, and now you have to decide whether to steal from your friends with everyone watching.
You're not just watching, but seeing your heart rate in real time.
That heart rate monitor was genius, honestly. You could see who was bluffing, who was freaking out. It added this whole other layer of drama.
And Valkyrie,
yeah,
she played that game like a pro.
She was ice cold.
Like, was that strategy? Was she just naturally calm under pressure? It makes you wonder what was going through her head.
Right. But just when we thought we'd seen it all, MrBeast drops another bombshell. A cooking challenge.
Oh, yeah.
But not just any cooking challenge. This one's judged by Joey Chestnut, Miranda Cosgrove, and IShowSpeed.
It was such a random mix of judges.
You've got gourmet ingredients, a ticking clock, and these judges staring you down.
Talk about pressure. It really shows how adaptable these creators have to be. One minute it's giant Jenga, the next they're trying to plate a souffle.
And some of them you could tell they were OUT of their element.
Oh, for sure. Though there were a couple of hidden talents in the mix. Got to give them that. But then you've got that plate smashing moment.
I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, even with $1 million in internet fame on the line, Some things never change.
It's a good reminder that these are real people,
Yeah.
you know, with real emotions, even if they do film it all for YouTube.
Exactly. But okay, after the cooking chaos dies down, we're down to our final five. We've got Jaiden Animations,
Amazing storyteller, love her videos.
a Mixum, the French gaming phenom.
Didn't understand a word he said, but I subscribed anyway.
Then there's Alex, our tech guru, Nick, who's absolutely hilarious.
His videos always make me laugh.
And finally, Kai, king of the unboxing videos.
So random, but it works.
5 wildly different creators, but they're all here for one thing, that $1 million.
And let me tell you, MrBeast did not make it easy for them.
He really didn't, because for the final challenge, we're back to straight-up psychological warfare.
5 briefcases,
Yep.
only one has the check inside.
And they've got to vote each other out one by one until someone's left holding that $1 million case.
Brutal.
The tension was so thick you could practically feel it through the screen.
Imagine being in their shoes, right? You've spent days with these people, competing, maybe even bonding a little, and now you have to turn on them.
And the whole time, you're trying to figure out, do they have the case? Are they bluffing? Should I trust them?
It's a masterclass in social strategy, is what it is.
And then, against all odds, Jaiden Animations pulls it off.
I did not see that coming.
Right, such an unexpected win, but so well-deserved.
And what I loved about it was she wasn't just going to keep the money for herself. She's supporting all these aspiring artists.
Exactly. And it really makes you think, right? Like, yeah, the challenges are fun to watch, but these YouTubers, they have real influence.
They're not just entertainers. They're role models for a lot of people.
For sure. And this whole challenge, it really highlighted that. The good, the bad, the pressure. It's a fascinating look at what it means to be a creator in this day and age.
And that constant tension of, do I compete or do I collaborate? We saw it play out all throughout the challenge.
Absolutely. Forming alliances, strategizing, backstabbing, sometimes all in the same 5 minutes.
It's like a microcosm of the internet itself.
And at the end of the day, it was Jaiden's ability to read the room to build relationships that won her the game.
Which, honestly, I think that's a good lesson for all of us.
Couldn't agree more. Well, there you have it. MrBeast's $1 million challenge. A wild ride from start to finish, and in the end, a reminder that the internet, for all its flaws, can still be a place where good things happen.
Here, here.